There's not usually very much major interaction between participants in the pinning sessions, but this one was an exception. And it was not only an exception, but it produced an exceptional result. Two people who had different resource types started to mix it up in one of the sessions. And sure enough, it resulted in a major forward movement for both of them. Here we see a person who is an instinctual resource person named Yonina. And she quite eloquently talks about how she learned how to respond to life by suddenly and spontaneously knowing what to do.
As I established a boundary in a rather rough way. I basically told Doris that I would take care of myself, thank you very much, and didn't need any suggestions from her. It was a bit sharp. So then we were in a chair. So this was a bit of a problem. So then she didn't come one night, and then she came last night. And this is so interesting and so kind of neat because I was actually in a conversation with somebody, and Doris got up and left the room. And it was very quick, but what happened was I knew in my gut that I needed to get up and talk to her before she left because it was the only chance I was going to have. It was just like that. It was just an inner thing that came. I was very sure. You know, it's a bit intimidating to confront somebody that you know is fully angry with you, and the pointing finger was daunting, but we got through it. Anyway, I don't mean to fun. I actually am very serious. It was like the feeling of knowing exactly what I needed to do.
Oh, and if she didn't, I probably would not have come to me.
Yeah, and then I found out subsequently that she was very kind of hurt by my roughness, and I think I apologized for that, or I might have kicked her in the chin, and then she wouldn't have noticed anyway, because she was just in such pain. But one way or the other, we got it straight, and she's back. And so that's nice.
And it was, but what I really learned was because I had seen Yonina say things to certain other people, and I had felt the hurt that I would have felt if I had been sitting in there and stuff like that. You know this, we talked about it yesterday.
You know, I'm going to end up in the penitentiary.
but I think that it might be interesting to reveal that was the maybe I'm exaggerating here, but that was the first time in your life where you had ever stood up for yourself.
Well, I would stand up for myself in the slamming the door sense, you know. But slamming the door sense is like I've let it go so far that the only thing I can think of to do is slam the door.
Yeah.
This was a clear feeling of having my boundary transgressed and willing to be gutsy enough to actually say, you know, because there's a big risk when you do that with people. People don't like that. They don't like to be told, I don't like what you're doing right now, or by the way, I will do what I need to do, and I really don't need your input. If I do need it, I'll ask for it, you know, that kind of thing. It's a tough thing to do to establish a boundary. And what I'm forever doing in my personal life, and especially in my married life, is I'm delaying establishing the boundary because above all I want peace. But the price of peace is very, very high. Because if you don't establish that boundary at the beginning, you know, it will be transgress until you explode. You get really, really angry. So I think you're right in the sense that I hope that I'll be able to do that and be gutsy enough to do that. Because for all my size and bravado, I'm actually quite intimidated by a lot of people. That's the big contradiction, you know?
And I guess I'd like to point out again that it just underline what you said, and it is that what is happening is that suddenly in the moment you know what to do.
I knew. Absolutely.
Okay? It just comes to you what to do.
Yeah.
Now, and I've explained to all of you that when you start doing that, it'll be clunky in the beginning because you have no experience. You are completely lacking in experience of it. So don't expect it to be the most sophisticated thing in the world. You have to be patient enough with it to see that it'll get you know, the corners will get rounded. What's necessary is knowing what to do. You understand? That's much more important.
The other thing I'd like to point out, which resonates with what you were just saying, is this business of, waiting for inner guidance on certain issues that are confounding you. And I just keep on telling myself, oh, whenever you're ready, let me know. Because there are decisions that are outstanding right now that I haven't wanted to make for some reason. But instead of freaking out about it and being all nervous and concerned and polling my girlfriend, what you think I should do, or polling a stranger in the street, whoever, I'm just saying to myself, there are a few decisions that are going to have to be made, but I'm just going to give you some time and some space, because I think that, I really do think you're right, Dr. Baylor. I really do think if you talk to yourself that way, you will strengthen its muscle to be able to come out and help you, because it's I don't know how that quite works, it's a little mysterious to me, but I'm going on faith. Yes, I am.
So, for those of you who are sitting kind of wondering what this is and whether this applies to you, this is the emergence of the instinctual.
Instinctual.
The instinctual resource. Instinct knows what to do. Instinct has spontaneity of being able to step forward rather than just taking defensive action. Stepping forward becomes fun. All of the responses that you've seen in these 3 videos show that what happens with AccuDetox is unusual and extraordinary in its final impact. The people behave differently, but in a discontinuous way, which is why that we have seen this as a transpersonal approach. Transformation really means that one has completely changed the place from which one views life. And in each of these cases, that's exactly what happened.